You took time out from your work to join the Hillary Clinton campaign as a passion, and you ended up working on the branding, the logo. And in the course of communicating with the team about what a logo is, what it means, how important what it should do, it was an insight, frankly, into Wendy's genius. So you distilled down the need for this logo to show her as fresh yet familiar, tenacity, resilience, empathy, creativity, action-oriented, future-focused. And also earlier in the email, you talked about having something that makes it look like she reaches outwards to inspire upwards. Talk about how you came to that conclusion and how important that kind of logo is in branding.
Well, yeah, being part of a WikiLeaks, it wasn't like a normal brand marketer's life, right? So last week was a little interesting. Kind of called my boss. I'm like, so, you know, when you hired me, you might not have expected this. But yeah, so I haven't really talked about this very much. I mean, part of the agreement is you not talk about it too much, but I'll talk about the branding
generally,
piece.
Yeah.
In general terms,
Yes.
About the branding piece. You know, anytime a marketer works on something, what you want to do is create a body of work, a set of communications that represents the core and essence of whatever that product is. If it's a person, then it's got to represent the core and essence of who that person is and what they believe. And so, you know, we take a very strategic approach. I mean, you look at the person, their platforms, what they stand for, and you distill the most compelling aspects in that that you want to represent. I think in that email, which I did in the first sentence call a diatribe, so I own the length of it. It was a very long one, but I had a lot to say, which isn't unusual if you know me. So, you know, what I was trying to distill there, these are common practices and principles that an Apple, that a Target would take into how they're branded.
Well, let me jump into that since you said Target and Apple, because you gave your colleagues a lesson in marketing through Target and Apple. You said the Target logo, it wasn't just made so that people would think automatically designed for all, fashionable yet affordable choices for my home and family, expect more, pay less. And you talked about Apple, the world's most valuable brand. You know, with this rainbow Apple mark in 1976, simply stood for creativity, thinking differently. But no one at the time would look at that mark standalone and says it means Apple is the leader in human-centered designed electronic devices with a vision for the future. The point being in all of this is that the message and the image and everything has to be linked together.
It does, right? It's especially in a socially connected world where we're listening. We're thinking about 400 hours of content uploaded every minute to YouTube, as you just heard Susan say. So much content out there. You've got to stay rigorous and on message and, you know, be deeply in your position and be very disciplined about doing that. And so, you know, part of what we were trying to do with that design was set up something that could be filled with meaning, socially shared. The transparency of the logo, obviously very important, because then people can put in their images and it becomes ownable and allows you to represent that person through what you believe and show your advocacy for it. And so it was a very modern design, I think. Obviously,
is what you did, is the product that we see now your product, the Hillary?
I did. You see me like. I worked on that with Pentagram. So Michael Beirut, you know, a leading global designer. Anyone in design will know Michael's name. And his team at Pentagram, and I worked on that together. And so, yeah, that was...
and so the arrow, everybody know this, right? The arrow and the blue.
All different colors, right? It was meant to be very, very, very dimensional, very flexible, very adaptable.
It also implies movement. And in a candidate movement, who's criticized for being, you know, old school and status quo.
Movement, future-facing. You know, many people have read into the two lines and the line going between connecting, you know, being firm in your position and yet connecting those two.
Oh, interesting.
Two sides. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can look into what that is. But obviously, I mean, part of the job when you have, you know, at DDB, right. We talk about, you know, building fame feeling and fluency in brands, right? Those are the things you have to do. Obviously, this is a very famous brand, so
Yeah.
fame wasn't the challenge. What we had to do was create the feeling and the fluency of what, Secretary Clinton was going to stand for as a president.